So talking about Man at the High Castle has got me realizing that I haven't really talked about Code Geass at length. So I think I'm going to give my thoughts on Code Geass in this episode here of Radix Reflects. Code Geass, I sort of talked about it last episode. I really like invasion fiction. It really taps into, the Yamato Damashi or whatever. This sense of nationalistic Japanese pride that I don't think a lot of Americans get from watching Code Geass. But Code Geass, I really like Code Geass, and I guess the root of it is it's very nuanced, and I feel like I just went on a tirade about nuance with the Man in the High Castle episode. But again, each side, and this is typical of Japanese war media, each side is fleshed out. There's one side where the main protagonist is on, and there's one side that sort of hinders the protagonist's efforts, but the people of each country aren't, good or bad guys. You'll see good people on both sides, bad people on both sides, and I really like that portrayal of war. What makes Code Geass special than other mecha anime? Well, first off, I really don't like fights in space with mecha. With mecha, I don't like seeing giant robots just fighting around, floating in space. I think that can lend itself to some lazy animation when you don't have to do any background explosions and stuff like that. It's really hard to get a feel of the battleground when you're just floating in space. Let's see. I really like mecha when they're on the ground. Now, there are about 3 ground mecha, I guess 4, that sort of come to mind when you think of mecha shows on the ground. Code Geass, maybe the 08 MS team, the Gundam show that's set on Earth. Mobile Suit, Evangelion, and maybe Gurren Lagann, or Lagann, or whatever. But the thing is, I really like the nuanced sides, the countries at war type thing. You don't really get that in Evangelion, where they're fighting against like these alien things. You really don't get that in Gurren Lagann, where there's only a limited amount of characters. I like lots of characters, and I like countries at war. The 8th Mobile Suit team sort of falls into that category, but it's also part of the larger Gundam franchise, and you can't really you can't really do a lot of world building in one series. You have to understand the things going around the other series, especially the main Gundam series. Gundam 00 Gundam 00 is my favorite Gundam because it's set mostly on Earth and is a contained story without any other back matter. You don't need to watch any other series besides Gundam 00 to get Gundam 00. It's mostly set on Earth, but I still like Code Geass better because Gundam 00 does a lot of space fighting. Now, Code Geass is set on Earth. There are real countries like Japan. There's also fake countries, but it's Britannia and China. So, yeah, China's a fake country. I guess China's technically a real country, isn't it? But there's Britannia, China, the European universe. I liked it better when they called it the European Union. But having it grounded with real countries, besides Britannia, but how fake is Britannia when it's Britain? Although it's really America when you actually look into the lore. But, because the Americans lost the American War of Independence, and then so the American continent stayed in British hands. Then Napoleon won the Napoleonic Wars, took over Great Britain. The British royal family fled to America, and then started up Britannia there. So, for all intents and purposes, Britannia is the United States with the British royal family. But let's see. The battlefields are real places. You really get a sense of battles with Code Geass. You really can understand military strategy with Code Geass. If you pay attention to Code Geass, you'll get a good idea of where different cities are in Japan just through Code Geass alone, like Kagoshima and Narita and freaking Kyoto or whatever. The battles take place at real places. It feels much more grounded. Even though the character designs are out there, the mecha designs are sort of weird, it feels more grounded in realistic themes, realistic places, I guess. Although, that's also kind of a joke when you have stuff like Sakura Die in these magical power, the freaking Geass in the concept itself is weird. I don't really like the mystical side of Code Geass. I like the more grounded militaristic realism of Code Geass. Let's see, anything else I want to say about Code Geass? I don't know why they're making a Season 3. There doesn't need to be a Season 3, man. Season 2 ended on such a high note. Season 2 of Code Geass is famous for being one of the best anime endings of all time. And they're like, alright, 10th year anniversary, let's make Season 3. No, you can't just make Season 3 when you gave Season 2 such a proper conclusion. Nevertheless, I am still looking forward to Season 3, just because I have that naive optimism. I'm liking the movies so far. They're making a trilogy of there's basically recap movies, but they're adding original scenes to it. The animation to the original scenes looks beautiful. Akito the Exiled, which is sort of like the unofficial season 1.5, I guess, that had beautiful animation. I didn't like how the mechs were CG, though. But I really like the ending of Akito the Exiled. I really liked a lot of the European culture that was explored in Akito the Exiled. Let's see. I didn't like Akito the Exiled's soundtrack, though. You know, the random jazz and trumpets. Felt like I was in the Hoenn region again from Pokemon. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to Season 3. Hopefully the mechs will be 2D. Hopefully it ends just as... You know it's not going to end as well as freaking Season 2 did. But, yeah. Definitely my favorite anime. Definitely recommend checking it out. A lot of it can be jarring, especially the character designs. But I think if you can look past that, it's definitely my favorite anime.